Hello, High Seas team. Very, very glad that you are able to join us for Planetary Radio Live this evening. Even though we can't really have a conversation because of the half hour or so communications delay, light speed delay, simulated at least between here and your simulated Martian landscape there. But I do have some questions for you. Before we get to that, I'm hoping that you can introduce yourselves to all of us and maybe take us on a little tour of that habitat that you've been living in for the past few months.
Hey Matt, this is the High Seas 5 crew. Want to thank you and Planetary Society for this awesome opportunity.
Hi Planetary Radio, come check out where we live. This is our hab. It's in the middle of these lava fields on the slopes of Mauna Loa. Come on inside and I'll show you around. Here's our workshop and storage container. It's attached to the airlock where we suit up and decompress to go outside. Over here past the bathroom is the lab, where the crew can work on their personal research. Upstairs, we each have our own room. And here's the main area of the hab. This is where we work, eat, exercise, have crew meetings, work on projects, and relax together. And here's our coffee shop, where we can write and look out the window. So that's our home. Back to you, Matt.
That is awesome. Thank you for the great tour. Let me start throwing some questions at you now. To begin with, what is NASA hoping to learn from this mission, from your experience, that is going to help us successfully allow humans to live and work on the real Mars?
So, with our mission, High Seas is studying crew cohesion and performance under conditions similar to those experienced by astronauts on Mars. So you can see we live in a bubble, we have a 20-minute communication delay with the outside world. The eventual goal is to figure out how to send a team to Mars and have them remain a cohesive, strong team until they get back.
What other science is being conducted?
So in addition to NASA's BHP research that we do and the geology tasks we have, such as going out and exploring lava tube caves to better understand our surroundings, we also have individual projects. So for example, mine is 3D printing, so manufacturing items that we need in the hab during the mission during increased autonomy periods.
Yeah, and I'm working with NASA's Kennedy Space Center on the Veggie payload to optimize plant growth schedules for the astronauts on board the International Space Station.
I'm using synthetic biology to adapt to mission needs, so I can make small molecules and proteins that might be useful for the mission.
What's the biggest challenge the team faces?
I think the biggest challenge for our mission is different for each person. I think when I came in here, I was expecting to have a lot of trouble dealing with staying inside all the time or having trouble dealing with being in such a small space, but I found that some of the challenges haven't actually been as bad. I don't mind being in the habitat all the time, but the communication delay that we have has been a really big challenge for me. Every communication we send out is delayed by 20 minutes in each direction, so your email to a loved one or to someone you're working with can be a really important communication that you have to get right the first time, because otherwise your response isn't going to come back for another 40 minutes at least. So you may only talk to someone a couple times a day and be trying to figure out a complicated problem with them.
I found one of the hardest things actually was struggling to solve problems, basically not being able to solve problems yourself. I think that's really hard because you don't have that communication to the outside world that you would normally have to research things for yourself and kind of find out solutions to your own problems. You have to rely on other people.
And one of the big challenges for me is balancing work and playtime, because you have to make sure that your relationships with your crew members are strong, so you have to have enough social time, and then you're also trying to get a lot done because we have a lot of good opportunities to do science here. So finding that right balance definitely takes some time and takes some adjusting to different personalities on the crew.
Okay, what do you miss the most about living on Earth?
All right, so what do I miss the most? The crew can probably vouch for this. I talk about my puppies like they're my kids. I guess they kind of are, unrelated. But for the most part, yeah, I miss Bentley and Studebaker. Definitely back home in Denver, I guess.
I miss my little brothers and nephews the most. They are related.
I think that's the answer for a lot of us. We miss our family. I miss my husband, my parents.
Yeah, all those things. And the internet.
I also miss the internet.
I'd be surprised or possibly shocked if you told me that there has been no friction among the team members over the months you've already been there. So how do you keep the peace?
In here, everyone's really open with each other, and so anytime we have an issue, we usually address it really quickly. And that's important because the people around me here are not only my colleagues, but they're also my best friends and my roommates. And so if I'm having an issue with someone, then that means I'm going to be eating dinner alone and not have anything to do afterwards. So there's a real strong motivation there to get things sorted out really quickly, and I found the crew is all really open, and I don't think we've had many issues last longer than a couple of hours. So.
Yeah, we came into the mission kind of having an idea of what to expect from one another, right? We figured out how do we handle situations, how do we handle conflict, and we wanted to address that prior to the start of the mission. We put a lot of preparation into that because we knew that would be one of the big issues we'd have to deal with here.
And I think that's one of the important things, that we're all committed to maintaining good relationships. So you can try to bring something up in a variety of ways, and the other person is there with you trying to solve the problem.
What if NASA invited you to be part of the first genuine human mission to Mars? How many of you would start packing your bags?
I'm sure this question somewhat differs for everyone. I think also being asked the question of whether you would kind of pack your bags and go to Mars as a hypothetical, and actually being asked to do it, you may have different answers from different people. I think if you were actually asked to go and do it, the dangers and the reality of what you're going to be facing may become more apparent, and you may think about it kind of more than you would now when you were just kind of given a hypothetical. Yeah, that sounds great. Sounds like an adventure, but the reality is it would be very dangerous, and you would really have to consider where you were in your life, your loved ones and things, because there's a chance you wouldn't be coming back.
I always go back to the Gus Grissom quote of, the conquest of space is worth the risk of life. So as far as like physical harm, like that's unfortunately danger is inherently part of human spaceflight.
Absolutely.
So it is worth the risk to. So I think what you guys are saying about family and affecting those around you, for me, is a much bigger factor. Because unfortunately, I do think there are some losses that go along with pushing those boundaries, but in the end, it's worth it, and it's part of finding out who we are and where we come from.
And finally, what's the first thing you're going to do when the mission ends?
I don't know about y'all, but I'm probably just going to come back in here.
We can talk about it.
Nice.
I really want to walk outside barefoot on grass or sand or something.
Not
Not lava.
I'll probably when I walk out of here, I'll give some hugs, but I'll probably have to call my mom, my grandma. I owe them that, that's for sure.
I think it's been really nice experiencing being part of a crew, being the few people that you have a ton of people supporting. So for me, after the mission, I'm really excited to join the industry and be one of those people helping, get those few people up and exploring. So I'm excited to get back into the industry.
Thanks again, everybody. I want to wish all of you the greatest of continued success as you finish off these last few weeks of the High Seas 5 mission. Wishing you also clear skies and aloha.
All right, Matt. Well, this is High Seas Mission 5 crew signing off. We'll see y'all back on Earth. Holla.